Dear students, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this lesson, we will study about even function, odd functions, and cosine series and sine series. Okay, the function f of x is even if f of minus x equals to f of x. Some examples of even functions are cos x, tan square x, sine square x, modulus of x, a constant k. Okay. The graph of even functions are symmetric about y-axis. Okay. Odd functions. The function g of x is odd if g of minus x equals to minus of g of x. Examples are sin x, tan x, x. Okay. And the graph of odd functions are symmetric about origin. Okay. The sum of two even functions is a even function. Okay, let's prove it. Let f1x and f2x be two even functions, and the function f of x is defined as the sum of f1x and f2x. Now replace x by minus x. We get h f1x and f2x are even function, so it will give f1x plus f2x, which is f of x, that is f of x is even function. Okay, so the sum of two even functions is a even function. The sum of two odd functions is a odd function. Let's prove it. Let g1x and g2x be two odd functions, and g of x is defined as the sum of g1x and g2x. Now replace x by minus x. We get h g1x and g2x are odd functions. It will give minus of g1x and minus of g2x, which is minus of g of x. Hence g of x is a odd function. So the sum of two odd functions is a odd function. The product of two even functions is even. Let's prove it. Let f1x and f2x be two even functions, and f of x is defined as the product of f1x and f2x. Now replace x by minus x. We get h f1x and f2x are even functions. It will give f1x into f2x, which is f of x. Hence f of x is even. So the product of two even functions is even. Okay. The product of two odd functions is even. Let's prove it. Let g1x and g2x be two odd functions, and g of x is defined as the product of g1x and g2x. Now replace x by minus x, we get h. G1x and g2x are odd functions. It will give minus of g1x and minus of g2x, which is g of x. Hence, g of x is even. So the product of two odd functions is even. Okay. The product of an even function and odd functions is odd. Let's prove it. Let f of x is even and g of x is odd function, and psi of x is defined as the product of f of x and g of x. Now replace x by minus x, we get h. F of x is even, it will give f of x. G of x is odd, it will give minus of g of x, which is minus of psi of x. Hence psi of x is odd. Okay, so the product of an even function and odd function is odd. We can also prove the derivative of an even function is odd function. Okay, let f of x is even function and psi of x is defined as the derivative of f of x. Now replace x by minus x, we get likewise. We can also prove the derivative of an odd function is even function. Okay. If f of x is even functions of x, then integration from minus pi to pi f of x dx equals to 2 times of integration from 0 to pi f of x dx. Let's prove it. We can write minus pi to 0 f of x dx plus 0 to pi f of x dx. The first term can be written as minus of integration from 0 to minus pi f of x dx. First term becomes h. F of x is even function, so f of minus x becomes f of x. So the first term becomes if g of x is an odd function of x, then integration of g of x in the interval minus pi to pi becomes 0. Okay, let's prove it. If f of x is even function, then the integration becomes 2 times of 0 to pi f of x dx, and if g of x is odd functions, then the integration becomes 0. Okay, cosine series. Okay, let's consider the Fourier series expansion of an even function on the interval minus pi to pi. In this case, a0 is here f of x is even function, so the integration becomes an is here f of x is even, cosine x is even, so the product of two even function is even, so the integration becomes bn is here f of x is even, sin nx is odd, product of even and odd is odd, so the integration becomes 0. Okay, so the Fourier series becomes okay, as the series contains only cosine terms, it is known as cosine series. Sine series. Let's consider the Fourier series expansion of an odd function on the interval minus pi to pi. In this case, a0 is here f of x is odd, so the integration becomes 0. An is f of x is odd, cosine x is even, so product of odd and even is odd, so the integration becomes 0. Bn is f of x is odd, sin nx is odd, product of two odd function is even, so the integration becomes hence the series becomes as the series contains only sine terms, it is known as sine series. Okay, cosine series and sine series are also known as half range series in the interval 0 to pi. Okay.